Okay, number 13 from Friday's assignment was requested, so here we go. All right, so looking at this, we know A is -3, B is 0, and C is 0. All right, so with that said, let's go and find the vertex. So it's negative B over 2A. So it's going to be 0, -0, which doesn't even make sense, divided by 2 times A. Well, 0 divided by anything but itself is 0. So the x of my vertex is 0. I also now just figured out my axis of symmetry is at x equals 0. Make sure you're writing it like a line. Now to find the y value of the vertex, I'm substituting that back into the equation. So I'm going to get 0 again. Okay, let's just fill in all the blanks. Right now I know that this is going to open down because A is negative. And because it's opening down, sorry, we have a max at the vertex of 0, 0. The domain is all reals. We can put any number in for x and get an answer. The range, because we have a max, this is going down, so y is less than or equal to the y value of your vertex. So this is 0 right here. The y-intercept, the c value, there's a lot of zeros floating around here, but the c is 0. So my y-intercept is also 0, 0. And now for my x-intercept, so for this one, remember you're always putting 0 in for y when you're finding the x-intercept. So you can do quadratic formula if you'd like, but for this one, I'm just going to do the square root approach. So I'm going to divide both sides by -3. 0 divided by -3 is 0, and now I'm going to take the square root. The square root of 0 is just 0, it's not plus or minus. So I now just found that my only x-intercept is at 0, 0. Don't mind all my children's work here to the side. So now the only point I have for vertex, y-intercept, and x-intercept is the point 0, 0. And remember, a graph of a parabola is not just a point. You need to have the U-shape, and so this isn't the only point on the graph, and this isn't just the graph. We have to find out what it looks like. So in this type of situation, you would need to make a table because all the points you found are the same point, so you're kind of stuck. So you want to pick points that are easy for yourself, like 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to put 1 into the equation. I can do the work up here. That's going to be -3 times 1 squared. 1 squared is 1 times -3 is -3. So I just found the point 1, -3. Okay, and so using your axis of symmetry, 1, -3, that reflects to the point, I'll label it for us, -1, -3. And of course it's blurry. Okay, putting 2 into the equation, we're going to get y equals -3 times 2 squared. Well, 2 squared is 4, and -3 times 4 is -12. So this one's not so great. It's off the graph, and I did not plan accordingly, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in this case, I'm not going to try to fudge it. But I have the work over here, so if this were a quiz or a test that we were taking, I would see that you had that. And in hindsight, I should have changed my scale. But let's just talk about that. So 2, -12 is somewhere down here. What point does that reflect to? Well, it's 2 away from the axis of symmetry, so I have to go 2 away on the other side, to the left, and so it is symmetric to the point -2, -12, just to throw that out there. And again, when you are making these, make sure you make a nice U curve. You don't want to make it V-shaped because that's absolute value.